Is Amy Fleming pregnant again? That's the question every Heartland fan is asking after watching the new Season 19 trailer. The teaser doesn't say much, but it shows just enough to send fans into a frenzy. Amy's quiet glances, emotional pauses, and a few mysterious scenes have sparked rumors all over the internet. Could a second baby be on the way? Or is it just another clever misdirection from the show's writers? Let's break it all down. To really understand why this pregnancy theory has everyone talking, we have to look back at who Amy Fleming is and what she's been through. Amy was just a teenager when we first met her in Season 1. After losing her mother in a tragic accident, she took on the huge responsibility of keeping the Heartland Ranch running. Over time, she grew from a grieving daughter into a confident woman, skilled horse trainer, and loving mother. And through every season, her story has been one of strength, healing, and deep emotional change. One of the biggest turning points in Amy's life was her relationship with Ty Borden. They started out clashing, but their bond quickly turned into one of the most powerful love stories in Heartland history. They got married, had a daughter named Lindy, and built a life together that fans fell in love with. For many viewers, Amy and Ty were the heart of the show. But then came the heartbreak. In Season 14, the unthinkable happened. Ty died after complications from a gunshot wound he suffered while trying to protect Amy. His death shocked fans and changed Amy's world forever. She was left alone to raise Lindy, manage the ranch, and figure out how to live without the love of her life. The show didn't rush this pain. It gave Amy room to grieve, to rebuild, and to slowly find her strength again. By Season 18, we saw a different Amy. Still kind, still connected to animals in a way only she could be, but also stronger, wiser, and more protective than ever. Her entire focus had shifted to raising Lindy and keeping Ty's memory alive. She wasn't looking for love, and she wasn't chasing dreams. She was building stability. But that's exactly why the pregnancy rumors in Season 19 feel so shocking. This wasn't a storyline anyone expected, and yet the trailer has fans thinking something big is about to change. Throughout the last few seasons, Amy has shown signs of moving forward, slowly, carefully, and always with her daughter in mind. She's shared quiet moments with friends and family, rediscovered joy in her work with horses, and even begun to smile again. But she's also kept her personal life very private. There have been no clear hints about a new relationship and no major moments that would suggest she's ready to start another family. That's why the new trailer is raising eyebrows. A few quick shots, Amy placing her hand on her stomach, Jack giving her a knowing look, Lou asking her if everything's okay, have sparked a wave of speculation. Could these small moments really mean she's pregnant again? Or are fans reading too much into it? It's important to remember that Heartland has always told its story in a slow, emotional way. Nothing is ever rushed, and big life changes are revealed through small clues. So when fans see Amy acting differently, even in just a few seconds, of a trailer, it doesn't take much for theories to grow. But before we jump to conclusions, let's look closely at the Season 19 trailer. What exactly does it show? Are there real signs pointing to a pregnancy, or is the show just playing with our emotions? In the next section, we'll break down the trailer scene by scene and reveal the clues that fans believe could confirm the biggest twist yet in Heartland's long history. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but in Heartland, a single glance from Amy can tell an entire story. That's exactly why fans can't stop rewinding the Season 19 trailer. It's short, it's subtle, but every frame feels like a secret waiting to be uncovered. And if you watch closely, really closely, you'll notice something strange, something new, something different about Amy. The trailer opens with a wide shot of the ranch at sunrise. Peaceful, familiar. The kind of image that tells you life at Heartland is still rooted in the same soil it's always been. But then the tone shifts. We see Amy standing, alone near the barn, the wind catching her hair as she looks down, hand gently resting on her stomach. It's not dramatic, but it's not nothing either. In a show where emotions are hidden in the quiet moments, this single gesture speaks volumes. Is it just a moment of thought, or is she feeling something more? Then comes the first piece of dialogue. Lou's voice, off camera, asking, Is everything okay? Amy doesn't respond right away. Her expression is calm, but her eyes flicker, like there's something she's not ready to say. It's the kind of moment Heartland does so well, layered, emotional, and filled with silence that says more than words. Some fans believe this is a direct hint that Amy is hiding a big secret. Others think it's a mislead. But when you follow the trailer frame by frame, the signs start stacking up. Next, we see Jack walking with Amy near the paddock. He's telling her, "Whatever you're feeling, we'll get through it together." Again, no explanation, no context. But his tone is warm, supportive, like someone who just found out a life-changing piece of news. Amy nods, her smile soft but clearly emotional. Is Jack reacting to the idea of a new baby in the family? It wouldn't be the first time the show used vague conversations to hint at a future storyline. Another scene cuts quickly to Amy in the vet clinic, holding a small foal with Lindy beside her. The three of them look like a perfect little family, and yet Amy looks more tired than usual. Her clothes are slightly looser, and she seems to move slower, like something's weighing her down. Physically? Emotionally? We don't know. But it's enough to get the fans talking. Is the show preparing us for a big reveal without actually saying the words? The camera then lingers on a shot of Amy sitting alone in her truck. The sun is setting behind her, and she's holding something in her hand. It's not entirely clear what it is. Some think it's a letter, others think it might be an ultrasound photo, or even an old picture of Ty. Either way, it's a private moment. One where Amy looks like she's on the edge of a choice, a decision, a beginning, maybe. If there's any truth to the pregnancy theory, this scene feels like the emotional turning point. Finally, the trailer ends with a close-up of Lindy asking Amy, "Is our family getting bigger?" It's a split-second scene, but it hit fans hard. Amy doesn't answer. She just smiles, brushes Lindy's hair back, and hugs her tightly. No confirmation, no denial. Just another moment full of quiet mystery. If that's not classic Heartland storytelling, what is? And so, the rumors grow louder. These aren't just random clips. They're carefully chosen scenes that seem to build toward something bigger. And even though the show hasn't said a word about a new pregnancy, fans feel like they're being led in that direction. A direction filled with new beginnings, second chances, and emotional twists. But is all of this just clever editing? Could the trailer be playing with our expectations? Or is there a real story about to unfold, one that changes Amy's life forever? In the next section, we'll dive into the wildest fan theories and the online evidence that's fueling the biggest Heartland debate in years. Sometimes the biggest storylines aren't written by the writers, they're born in the comment sections. The moment the Season 19 trailer dropped, Heartland fans went into detective mode. Reddit threads lit up. YouTube comments exploded. TikTok clips slowed the trailer down frame by frame, hunting for anything that looked suspicious. A hand on a belly, a look of hesitation, a scene too quiet to ignore. Within hours, one theory rose above the rest. Amy is pregnant again. But how did this theory catch fire so fast? Let's take a look at the clues that fans are pointing to, and the surprising evidence they've found hidden between the lines. First, let's talk about Amy's wardrobe. One user on a Heartland fan forum noticed that in most of her scenes, Amy is wearing oversized jackets, loose flannel shirts, and layers that look carefully chosen, not just for the season, but to hide a possible baby bump. "She's never dressed like that unless she's working horses in the cold," one fan wrote. "But in these scenes, she's just walking or talking. It feels deliberate." Others chimed in, noticing she's often filmed from the waist up, with the camera pulling in close to her face, classic TV techniques used to hide a pregnancy in plain sight. Then there's the emotional tone of the trailer. Fans say Amy seems more reflective this season, more emotional. In one scene, she watches Lindy ride from a distance, smiling but teary-eyed. Is she just proud? Or is she overwhelmed by the idea of expanding their little family again? "Moms know that look," someone commented under a reaction video. "That's the look of someone thinking about what comes next." Another clue came from a blink and you miss it shot. Amy and Lou sitting at the kitchen table, a mug of tea in front of Amy, untouched. Lou says something softly, and Amy looks down instead of responding. Fans caught this and ran with it. She's not drinking coffee. She's avoiding eye contact. She's definitely hiding something. Whether that scene confirms a pregnancy or not, it adds to the feeling that something big is being kept secret, but the theories go even deeper. Some fans believe the writers have been planting seeds since season 17. In one episode, Amy and Jack talk about how life always finds a way forward. That line stuck with viewers, and now it feels loaded with meaning. Could that have been foreshadowing? A hint that Amy, after everything she's been through, might be ready to start again? Others point to behind-the-scenes interviews. In one clip from a cast Q&A last year, Amber Marshall, who plays Amy, was asked what fans could expect in future seasons. She smiled and said, "There are always surprises, especially when you think you know where Amy's life is going." At the time, it felt innocent. Now it feels like a tease. And then there's the biggest clue of all, Lindy's question at the end of the trailer. Is our family getting bigger? No fan is ignoring that. It's the line that set off the most debate. Some say it's clear confirmation, others think it's classic misdirection, but no one thinks it's meaningless. In a show like Heartland, lines like that are chosen very, very carefully. Of course, not every fan is convinced. Some believe this is just another red herring, an emotional moment designed to stir up conversation without revealing the true plot. They think Amy may be facing something else entirely, a health scare, a secret from the past, or even helping someone else with a baby. After all, this is a show that loves to twist the story just when you think you've figured it out. Still, the pregnancy theory won't die. And maybe that's because it feels right. Not just because of the clues, but because of the journey Amy has been on. She's healed. She's strong. She's learned to live with the pain of loss. And maybe, just maybe, she's ready for a new chapter. Coming up next, we'll explore what a second pregnancy would really mean for the show. How would it affect Lindy? Could Amy raise another child alone? Would this change the story of Heartland forever? Let's find out. Every now and then, a show reaches a moment where everything changes. Not with a big explosion, not with a death or goodbye, but with a quiet beginning. If Amy is pregnant again, this could be one of those moments. Let's stop for a second and really think about it. Amy has already faced more than most characters ever do. She lost the love of her life. She raised Lindy on her own. She found strength in silence, in horses, in hard work. For years, her story has been one of healing. But what happens when healing turns into something more? What if she's not just moving forward? What if she's starting over? A second pregnancy would be more than just a twist. It would be a bold emotional shift for the entire series. It would force Amy, and the audience, to ask hard questions. Is she ready to love again? To open her heart to another future? Is she still carrying pieces of Ty's memory? Or is she making room for someone new? These aren't small questions. They're the kind of deep personal choices that Heartland has always explored with quiet care. And what about Lindy? Her bond with Amy is strong. They've been each other's whole world since Ty passed. Lindy is smart, sensitive, and old enough to know when something's changing. A new baby could be exciting, but it could also bring confusion. Will Lindy feel replaced? Will she worry that her connection with her mom is shifting? Heartland doesn't shy away from these kinds of emotional growing pains. And if the pregnancy is real, we'll likely see Lindy learning what it means to share her mother's love, and discovering that love isn't something that runs out. This kind of story would also push Amy into unfamiliar territory. She's older now, more cautious. She's not the young girl she was in season 1, diving headfirst into life without thinking twice. If she's expecting again, it wouldn't just be about diapers and nursery colors. It would be about parenting with purpose. About raising a child with the wisdom of someone who knows how fragile life can be. About learning to trust again, not just in people, but in the future. And of course, this storyline would ripple through the entire Heartland family. Jack, always the rock, would likely take on a new role. Part grandfather, part father figure, maybe even a quiet protector once more. Lou, who's always balancing ambition with family, would probably try to step in and help, whether Amy wants her to or not. Tim, never shy with his opinions, would definitely have something to say. And Georgie, if she returns, might see Amy's journey as a reflection of her own struggles with independence and identity. A pregnancy storyline could also reintroduce themes the show hasn't touched in a while: love, second chances, and the bittersweet weight of memory. Will Amy do this alone? Will a new love interest enter her life? Will Ty's memory play a guiding role, even from beyond? These are the kinds of questions that keep fans invested, not because of the shock factor, but because they feel real. And let's not forget the show itself. Heartland has always been about family, but that family has changed, grown, and survived through loss. Bringing in a new baby would send a strong message that even after heartbreak, life continues, that even in grief, there's space for joy. And that Amy, the girl who started as the heart of the ranch, might just become the heart of something new. So, if this theory is true, and Amy really is expecting, it wouldn't just be a twist. It would be a turning point. One that honors the past, embraces the future, and reminds us why Heartland still matters after all these years. Now the only question is, will the show actually go there?